Welcome to East Point. This undeveloped part of Darwin is the perfect place to soak up the coastal breeze and amazing sunsets over the harbour. Today, East Point is a peaceful reserve for family barbecues, people riding their bikes or their horses, or even just taking an evening stroll. In 1942, it was also relatively peaceful, but with a very different purpose. On February 19, East Point was a gun site with dozens of small army bunkers, all connected by a crisscross of dirt tracks. The trees were cleared to create open views for the gunners, and servicemen were in the process of installing 9-inch guns to protect the territory from an attack by sea. These were the guard dogs of Australia's frontline.
Well, these are anti-shipping guns, so it's a bit like having a guard dog. It doesn't have to bite anybody in order to deter the bad guys. And that could be said to be what those guns have achieved. The 6-inch guns were operable and they had a range of about 15 kilometres. So the Japanese knew this and they thought, well, we won't attack that way because that way disaster lies. We'll attack with aircraft instead. And before World War II, nobody thought that you could use aircraft in such quantities or to such effect. They just weren't fast enough, they couldn't fly high enough, they couldn't carry enough bombs. The bombs they could carry weren't very good. So nobody really thought that mounting a massive attack like this using aircraft was actually achievable. But World War II started with biplanes and finished with jet fighters, as some people have pointed out. So enormous changes in military technology were happening, and sometimes you're caught up in the middle of it.
Unfortunately, on the day of the first raids, all these guns went to waste as the Japanese approached Darwin from the south by air. Servicemen at East Point could do little more than look backwards to the city where bombs were being dropped with frustration.
Well, some of the eyewitnesses who were here said, well, we had nothing to do. We looked and we heard the noises, we heard the explosions, and we saw the Japanese aircraft, but there were some Allied ones there as well, and we were too far away to get a shot. As the raiders started to leave, the high-level bombers first, and then the dive bombers, once they delivered their single bombs each, and the escorting fighters started to leave, they tracked almost across the top of East Point. People at East Point got a shot at them. So if you had some sort of weapon that was useful against aircraft, you had a go.
On the way to the tip of East Point, you pass a turn-off to Dudley Point. There you can see the remains of the boom net that stretched across the Darwin Harbour.
There's the original cable anchored into the cliff there, and you can see how thick the cable is. It's immense, and it's just the remains of the end of it. But that was the world's longest boom net, which stretched across the harbour and was tended by a fleet of small ships. And that kept Darwin safe from surface raiders and submarines for the duration of the war. So it's one of those quiet achievements, I suppose, of the armed forces in World War II that people sort of don't think is rather remarkable, but if it hadn't been there, the war may have been very different for Darwin.
Take some time to enjoy East Point while you're here and explore the new Defence of Darwin Experience Museum. Then make your way to Dripstone Cliffs in Rapid Creek for our final stop.